Hey guys, this is Eric with Mediavine, and this is our new SEO like a CEO series where we talk about how you can grow your blog using organic traffic like we did for the Hollywood Gossip to become one of the largest celebrity gossip sites on the internet. All right, today we're talking about internal links. So if you listened to last week's episode on PageRank, you know that internal links are a chance to vote for yourself. So what exactly are internal links? They're simply links on your page that link to anything on your own site. So that's pages on your own domain. And I say domain, so not subdomain, but the same domain. Anytime you link to yourself, that's simply just called an internal link. It's just the official term for something you probably already know and are probably already doing. An important thing to note, that internal links are not just links inside of your post content. So if you're writing a blog post and you have a few links there, you have way more links on your actual page, right? Everything in your navigation, your header, your footer, your sidebar. When we're saying internal links, every one of those links count. I'm going to refer back to this a few times. So it's important, remember, when you're thinking internal links, not just when you're writing a post, think about internal links across your entire site. All right, so what should you internally link to on your site? So this is a super complex topic that we're going to actually be covering in an upcoming episode about link structure or information architecture, or many different terms that describe basically your site structure. That's incredibly important, and that's dictated by your internal links. So we're going to give a little more of a brief overview here. So when it comes to what you should be linking to, I want you to use anchor text as your guideline. So if you remember, we talked about anchor text on the first episode of SEO like a CEO, and there's a reason why. Anchor text is incredibly important, right? You remember when you link to something, the link text should be basically what the key phrase of the page you are linking to. All right, so why am I saying use anchor text as your guide? So whenever you're going to write a post, now when you're linking to something, I'm only letting you use the anchor text when you link to it, right? You can't use cheats like click here or linking on paragraphs or images or anything else. You can only link on anchor text. And if you're using that as your guide, you're only going to link to things that are contextually relevant to that post. And that's super important. In Google's Webmaster Guidelines, they basically tell you only link to things that are a good user experience or useful for the user to use for navigation. So that is going to be your guideline here. You're not just linking to things because you want to rank on them. You're linking to things because you think they're going to be useful for your user. They fit into the context of what you are writing. And that's also a super important thing to note. Google is a contextual search engine, right? It's using things like natural language processing. It's improving all the time. It's going to learn just as much about a link from the text around your link as the anchor text itself. So it's really important as you are writing that you are organically linking to things. You're not faking it for the sole purpose of getting that anchor text or that link into another post. And if you're using that as your guideline, you'll pretty much be able to figure out what you should be linking to, and it will be organic within that post, and you'll be okay. So how many links or internal links should you aim for in a given post? So again, remember, internal links count everything on your page. So it's actually a good thing to link as many times internally as you can because you want to outweigh kind of all that navigation bloat you're going to end up having, right? In your navigation, you'll probably have tons of links. So out the gate, you probably have 20, 30 links. Counting against that page rank you're distributing out, get as many into your internal posts as you can. There's like an age-old number that people used to toss around. You can have a maximum of 100 links per page. That's because Google said that, I don't know, like 10 years ago, and their algorithm and their computers were, not as complex as they are today. Since then, if you read the Webmaster Guidelines, Google says you can have thousands of links on a page. I promise you, even in a 5,000-word blog post, you will never hit Google's upper limits. So you cannot link enough, especially if you are following our guidelines that we said before. Make sure you're only linking on anchor text and within text. I'm going to throw another guideline in for you. Space out your links. If you've ever listened to any of our Improving Your RPM series, you know that we recommend using short web-friendly paragraphs. So 1 to 2 sentences per paragraph. We'll touch on this a little bit more in the SEO series because it's super important for SEO too, not just for usability. But make sure you're breaking up your paragraphs again, 1 to 2 sentences. If you're following that, 1 to 2 links per each of those paragraphs, and you'll be okay, right? You're going to get a lot of text around there to give Google that contextual stuff they love, and you'll make sure it's a good user experience because you didn't overstuff with links, and therefore you will never hit the upper limits of Google. And remember, but that thing that we told you about with PageRank, in the back of your mind, remember every link is something that you are voting for. So don't link to things that you don't want to rank. There are exceptions to that, obviously, right? For Legal reasons, you might need to link to a terms of service or a privacy policy. For business reasons, you might need to link to your About Us page. There are going to be exceptions that are pages that you won't rank for that you will need to link to. Whenever possible, only link to things that you want to rank on and are good for the user experience. So along those lines, when you go to your site navigation and your whole theme and your footer and everywhere around it, clean up your links. Get rid of any links that you don't need for that user experience. If you're linking to something for the sole purpose of, I wanted to fill up my sidebar, kill those links. I wanted to fill up my nav bar. No, that's not a good user experience. Only link to things that you want to rank on or that you think the user needs in that experience. Because remember, all of those links are weighing you down when it comes to your ability to pass your PageRank around. Clean it up. Time for a little spring cleaning on those links. All right, this is kind of more of an Eric thing, but don't link to the same page twice. You can't vote for something twice. If you link to it 4, 5, 6 times, Google isn't giving you 6 votes for that. You only get 1 vote. And it's not a great user experience in general, linking to something multiple times, unless you absolutely need to for that user experience. Cut the links out. Link the first time, generally the best, second time, third time, whenever you think it's the best for the user experience. If you use the anchor text 30 times on a post and you're like, oh man, there's 30 chances to link to that thing. No, link once. You're just kind of wasting your PageRank. Again, not a great user experience. All right, so last thing is kind of more of a technical thing, and that's how you can link to yourself internally. So Google recommends always linking on plain text whenever possible in their webmaster guidelines. So what that means is just using a plain old A tag or a href in the attribute. Don't do things like JavaScript where you do like an on click. Don't do buttons. Don't do even images when you can. Obviously for your logo, it's probably going to be an image that links. That's okay. Just make sure in those cases you use good alt text. But whenever you can, link on plain text. It's a better user experience again. Remember, when users are browsing quickly, they want to be able to easily see what they're linking to. You have accessibility issues if you're using a lot of images for your links. And again, Google is flat out telling you link on text. So please link on text whenever you can. There are some obvious reasons you might need to use JavaScript to generate your links if you have like what's called a single page app. There are exceptions to this, but if you're writing a blog post and you're on WordPress, none of those exceptions apply to you. So use plain text links when you can. And that is pretty much our whole topic on internal links. And again, we're going to come back to a lot more on the site structure stuff, how you should be worrying about silos and cornerstone content, and so much more exciting stuff to talk about with internal links. But it's important stuff to remember as we go through all those future segments. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next week.